Let's do this. Let's get her done. Skater.
Let them fight. Welcome to the Jockstrap Nerd Chat podcast. Woo!
Flew
Look
right
at that.
off your tongue.
Look at that beautiful banner we got going
Where is
on.
it?
Oh,
I mean, right here.
can't you see it?
Something like that.
It looks so nice.
Yeah. Got this bad boy. So we have officially gone from making no money to losing even more.
We're in the hole pretty solid right now.
Solid hundreds of dollars.
Between these mics and this logo and the monies we keep giving away, fuck, it might be years before we turn a profit.
But it's not the money that matters. It's you guys that matter. It's you guys the reason that we do this. We do this because it's
Matters a
fun.
little.
And, well, we really do this because it strokes my ego. I like seeing myself on the computer, on my phone.
Yeah, it's okay.
I like seeing myself in the podcast app.
That is kind of cool.
I'm like, oh, hey, me and Joe Rogan hanging out right next to each other.
Not a big deal.
Not a big deal. As always, I am your best friend, Justin, your guide, if you will, your spirit animal. To my right, we have Chris Berrigan. How you doing today, buddy?
Pretty good, guys. It's going to be nice. We're going to get this podcast knocked out before midnight.
I know. We're
First time for
recording
everything.
Early. And to my left, Joel. How
What
are you?
up? I'm doing well. I am actually doing really fantastic. Just came back from a ski vacation and
A skication?
boardcation, more like it,
Yeah.
A boardcation?
Shredcation.
but shredcation.
shred
And
I don't know if anybody's realized, but those Rocky Mountains are shredded down to fucking nubs right now.
yep, they're almost gone.
John Denver was full of shit.
So sunshine on my goddamn face, John Denver.
That was 2 days ago we went on that, and I think today I officially don't feel hungover.
Well, between having to take Simpson to the airport and get up at 6 a.m. after maybe 3 hours of sleep, and then having to get up at 3 a.m. yesterday morning, I'm in that boat too. I just got like 8 hours of sleep for the first time in a week and a half.
That's awesome.
But yeah, anyway, one of my favorite things about that vacation had nothing to do with where we were, but what we were enjoying, which was
What were you enjoying?
NFL draft.
What?
One of my favorite sporting events of the year because of exactly what was happening in round one.
Yeah, this was like a perfect example of why this is so fun to watch. This first round was
Yeah,
It was-
you only had to wait for one pick for something ridiculous
to
to
just
happen.
go bananas.
I'm actually legitimately jealous that I didn't sit down and get a chance to watch it. I was busy, making money
well,
and working.
You're trying to be a Bears fan.
Well-
You should be glad you didn't watch the first couple weeks because they
Well-
got railed.
I never really thought about the NFL draft as like a really fun thing, and then I watched, I got to see snippets of it, and I got to see like things, and like they moved it to Pittsburgh for the first time. Is that
Philadelphia.
Philadelphia.
Well,
sorry.
it used to be in Radio City Music Hall in New York City for every single year up
Yeah.
until 2 years ago. I think they moved it to Chicago for the first time, and then this year was Philly.
Didn't they
And-
do it because it makes it more affordable for people to actually go?
Well, I think it's more that like it's an event that everyone loves because about this time of year,
Yeah,
everyone's
that's-
getting really anxious for more football, and this is the last football event before the preseason, and so people. Basically, the NFL decided to take it on the road, and every year it's a new city now.
which is really a cool thing.
It's 17,000 people come to watch the draft.
Like
It's crazy.
I had to kind of catch up on everything with listening to Colin Cowherd, and he broke it down in the sense that NFL is broke down into two seasons. You have your regular season to the Super Bowl, excuse me, and then you have from the Super Bowl to the preseason. And there's a lot of things that go on in that time frame, but there's
Yeah.
not a lot of time for people to really get excited. But the draft really is that moment that you can really go crazy with it, and it kind of gave me like a respect for it that I didn't have before. And I'm really excited for a year from now to sit down and watch the whole draft.
Yeah, it's great. It's great because people, like I said, their team, unless you're one out of 32 teams wins the Super Bowl, so everyone else is disappointed. So, but during the off season, once free agency starts and once the draft comes around, people really get to start to see the improvements or the shortcomings of their team and.
Shortcomings of that front office too. If they make bad,
if they
bad
lose
decisions.
good players or if they gain them through free agency, and then how they draft and everything. It's just a very exciting time because every team comes out a little bit better usually from the draft, even if they give up a lot.
It's a
Yeah,
really
it's never
strategic.
gonna like take a shit team to number one, but it can be start the building
Well,
blocks.
for teams like the Cleveland Browns that have been perennially in the top 5 of the draft because they're just not that good,
Can't make a good choice.
It's really about like hope for your team. Like that's the reason that the worst teams go first is because they get the chance to get the best players if they make the right choices and move up.
Hopefully dig out of that hole they've dug themselves into.
Yeah, I mean the Chiefs are now a playoff team, and they won the AFC West last year. But just 4 years ago, they were the number 1 overall pick. They were the worst team in the league.
Would you say that the rags to riches of that, metaphorically speaking, would you attribute that most to like good drafting, or would you say that it would be more towards like who they got in free agency and things like that?
Well, they made a trade to get Alex Smith, and that was the biggest thing for them.
We finally had a competent quarterback, which we hadn't had.
Yeah. But
Wow.
honestly, it's the drafting, in my opinion, because it's more the late round drafting than the early stuff because you expect first round draft picks to turn into really good starters. But they got guys like Tyreek Hill, who was a 5th round draft pick, who was an all-star or a Pro Bowler this year. And they've gotten guys like
Justin Houston, who
Justin
should have
Houston
been
in the
picked in the
3rd round.
first. Should have been a top 10 pick.
Yeah, but he got picked in the 3rd. I mean, even Marcus Peters probably should have been a top 5 guy that dropped down to like 18 where they got him. And it's mainly value and having those late round guys turn into like really good players because if you can accumulate a lot of that, and I attribute a lot of that to John Dorsey, the Chiefs GM, because he knows talent. I mean, they drafted so well in Green Bay for so long. That's why they've been good for so long.
Yeah, a lot of teams, their future in the draft is going to be predicated off of their front office and how much time they actually put into researching all the players and making sure they make the right trades. Or like, I think it's just as important free agency too. If you're willing to make some moves to go get a player that you know does well, besides just banking on the draft. Because the draft's you're never gonna win just banking on draft picks.
And the Chiefs, to get Alex Smith, they traded that year's 2nd round draft pick and the next year's 2nd round draft pick to do it. So like draft picks become kind of intermingled with free agency when it comes to that. Even though he wasn't a free agent, he was on like the last year of his contract. But it's the whole offseason is just so cool like that. And getting into the actual draft, though, I mean, the number 1 pick was really the only pick that everyone called. Everyone was like, "Yep, it's Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
Myles Garrett's going to be the guy." There's really Myles Garrett is that top tier talent, and everyone else is a notch below or
The
or
Browns
lower.
surprisingly waited like a while to pick it though. It's almost like they were thinking about taking somebody else for a little bit.
Yeah,
I thought the time would start.
I think it's
hitting
more
and
that they were just like they were
you
still
kind of want to make
fielding.
people sweat it too. 'Cause
Well, they were fielding deals, and like especially when you're on the clock, like people are making. You have a whole room of people making phone calls to other teams saying, "Hey, are you interested in moving up here? What would you be willing to give me to move up to this spot?"
or,
really stupid question. Was the movie Draft Day anything like how it goes down?
From what I've read, it's similar.
I mean,
It's
No,
really high
it was
pressure.
it was a very cool like cinematic view of the draft, and I mean
much
nothing
more-
as ridiculous as what happened in draft
Yeah.
day ever usually happens.
Yeah, but there's still a lot of things going on, for that. I mean, what is it? The first day is what, 6 hours?
probably about. I mean, it's the
They
first
started
day is
at
only the
6
it's only
and
the
it
first
ended-
round.
It
it's
started
only
at
the
6
first
and
round.
ended at
Yeah, it used
like
to be.
9:30.
The first day used to be like first, second, and third, and they only split it between 2 days.
Yeah.
But now they do the first round one day, second and third another, and then the rest.
Speaking of draft day, though, because normally it doesn't work like that. You don't get a fairy tale ending. But moving on to the second pick, that kind of was probably very similar to what
I mean, it wasn't as
like.
bad as draft
Yeah.
day. They gave up like 3 first round picks to do that in that movie, but yeah, the
Closest you're going to
so
get to real
the
life.
Bears were picking third, moved up 1 spot, and gave up like I think 3 or 4 picks.
They gave
later in the
away-
draft
For
to
Somebody
do
that
it.
didn't need it. Like,
Yeah.
that would have been there.
Well, yeah, I think, and this is my total hypothesis
Real quick,
on this.
let's
Go
announce
ahead.
that they traded away to move up 1 spot, their 3rd round pick, their 4th round pick, and their 1st round pick the following year.
Yeah, to move up.
So they have
One
how many
spot.
picks next year? Like 3 left.
Well, they
Well, they
still
took
have
3rd and 4th this year, and then their 1st next year. So they gave away their
okay.
1st round next year.
which is
but
a
that's-
lot for a team that needs a lot, and so that's kind of shitty.
Yeah, that's didn't help.
quarterback that
But they
I've
literally
never
moved
even
up
seen play.
one spot, and this is my theory on what happened is John Lynch called them up, knowing that they wanted Mitch Trubisky at 3. It was like, so we're gonna take Mitch Trubisky at 3 unless you give us a lot, and if you
And the
really
Bears shit
want him.
themselves, and they're like, well, fuck.
And I guarantee you, John Lynch was going to take Solomon Thomas the whole time, which he took at 3.
Yeah.
So they gave up that much to move up literally one spot to have the right to
take a
draft
quarterback
Mitch.
There's
who's
got to be a
played
certain amount of like just you.
Yeah, a
fucking
quarterback
with
who's
other
played
people.
13 games in
in
his
college
career.
football. 13.
And didn't even play well.
I mean, he was all right.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of talent, but
Not third round pick potential to trade away
Third
that
overall.
much just to
The
get
2017 season is not a good season to be.
But
you know what I actually
look,
did? I actually did hear about so that Mike Glennon deal that was like a $45 million deal that he signed, but actually only like $3.5 million of it is guaranteed
Nope,
money.
19 million.
I've seen. Maybe I read the wrong thing, but
Yeah,
I was
sorry.
listening to. Maybe they just over exaggerated.
Yeah, maybe
what
you
I was.
did.
I was listening to like
Maybe you
Mel
did.
Kiper and Todd McShay, and they
Yeah,
were
they
talking
were-
about it. But I think it was just like they were over exaggerating.
Yeah, it's 19 million guaranteed. So,
So
I
it's
mean,
actually not that huge, but that's 19 million over the duration of the contract,
Yeah.
and they only gets to 45 if he hits incentives. But yeah. Anyway, so I mean, San Francisco got the guy that won it all along, and
I think you're right though. I think they just kind of twisted their arm and like either you give us a bunch of shit or we're gonna take him.
Yeah.
Even though, like you said, in the back of their minds, I don't think they were gonna ever take him.
Yeah, it would have put them in a bad spot. They wouldn't have. I mean, they probably had like entire like lists centered around this one guy going. I mean, there's a lot of fuckery going on.
yeah, and
in,
then
in this draft, at least from the outside. in,
San,
at least.
San Francisco
it's,
bluffed.
It's all
and-
negotiations, man.
Yeah, I think San Francisco bluffed, and the Bears.
The Bears were like, "Well, fuck. If we really want to bank on this guy for the future, then this is what we have to do." And
I heard San Francisco ended up getting like a lot of people were saying that they got like the most underrated.
I think
got
John
draft.
Lynch.
they just got a great draft overall.
Yeah.
Lynch deserves the MVP
I was
of the
gonna
draft.
say that they were my favorite. They were my favorite team in this draft, just the way they did it.
I heard San Francisco was underrated, and then I heard that Tampa Bay really just cleaned up house.
Tampa Bay got a lot of great value picks.
They got a lot of
like
value
most
picks,
people
yeah.
were taking OJ Howard with between like 5 and 10, and they got him at 19, which is just it's a huge talent that the tight end out of Alabama, and
Yeah, he should have been a top 5, top 10 talent. He dropped. That's a great value for where he should have been picked.
yeah, and they did really well. Now Jacksonville got Leonard Fournette, and actually that was not a surprise. I mean, T.J. Yeldon had a really good first year. Kind of petered off last year.
Kind of been injury prone too.
But it's not. I really don't think it's T.J. Yeldon's fault. They need linemen. They need someone to block, and that's what. But they're hoping Leonard Fournette could be that horse for him.
Well, he's a monster of a man. He's 6 foot, 230, 240 pounds.
Yeah,
Big guy.
he's gigantic.
He'd be harder to take down than Yeldon. So even with a subpar line, he should do at least decent.
And then we have Tennessee Titans got Corey Davis. That was a good pick. That was a value pick that they needed. A lot of people had OJ Howard going there, but they went wide receiver, and that really doesn't
I think it's because I think there was rumors that they were going to get rid of Delaney Walker, and that may have been why they didn't pick up Howard.
Yeah, maybe they just decided to stay that way.
But that's good though. That's really nice for Mariota once he comes back healthy. I mean, he's shown that he can be the future of that team, and he's
Yeah.
give
I
him
hated
another
that
weapon.
guy when he was in college. I hated him.
And
He
Jamal
was really
Adams
good.
going at 6 was actually probably one of the better values because most people had him as the second rated guy in this draft.
Wasn't that massive safety?
Yeah, from LSU.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's a beast.
He is a beast.
Sue.
And I think the New York Jets were just fucking pumped when he just dropped to them because the other teams just didn't need a safety right now. It was
Yeah.
it kind of reminded me of when Eric Berry dropped to 5 for the Chiefs when they were picking that year.
And that's one of those things that you can kind of refer to with this entire draft where it seems like people got almost what they wanted at later picks because the people in front of them didn't need it.
Yeah.
Besides the Bears.
Yeah. LA gets Mike Williams. That's a good pick for them. They need that offense. I mean, it's kind of not a surprise at all. And then Carolina Panthers with Christian McCaffrey.
My boy Christian McCaffrey.
That I think was a great pick for the Panthers.
Most people had them taking him, so it was also not
I think
that
that's
big
a,
of a
that's
surprise.
big,
but it's
big, like He's gonna mesh really well.
Yeah, and they need a guy like that on their offense, and he'll be a do everything kind of guy for them, and I think it'll be a great
You know,
fit
it's
for
odd
Cam
is
Newton.
something that I've heard is like he's kind of referred to him as like a little scat back. It's like not really though. He's almost 6 feet tall and he's like 215 pounds. He's a fairly
He's a
big
normal-
guy. Yeah.
it's more that he's that size and he plays like a scat back. Like
No, it's because he's that size and he's white. That's why they do that.
honky,
please.
But I'm a big advocate for him. I like him. I've watched a lot of his drills and stuff. The guy looks amazing.
Yeah, one of the biggest surprises was John Ross at 9. I mean, it's a fit.
Oh yeah, that was
It's
early.
a fit for Cincinnati, but like, yeah, most people had him like around the start of the second round.
Like
I
a
mean,
late first
He is the
round.
fastest combine guy of all time. So
Really?
yeah, he broke the record this year. Is a 4.2240.
But
Was that the one that had to do with like an island or something?
No.
No. Okay, never mind. Scratch.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That was the guy.
Yeah, but
Like,
the problem was he
He
didn't
didn't wear the right shoes or
yeah.
something.
I think if he was wearing Adidas and he would have done that, and
Yeah, they
if
would've-
they made some
They
deal that
would give him
they'd give you a
boat
private
or
island.
private island or something.
Oh
like that.
really?
Yeah,
I
like
didn't know that.
if you're wearing their shoes while you
But
while
he
you
was
ran
like,
the fastest
"Nah,
40 of all
your
time,
shoes
but he
suck."
wore yeah, and he wore Nikes.
That's funny.
And he hit the threshold that you needed to get, like, and
Yeah, you
blew
had to-
past it.
Yeah, well, he beat it by 1/100th of a second, but
I don't know.
it was still the fastest of all time. And it was like, damn, you could have just started your NFL career off with a private island before you even.
They
had
better
a
hope
team.
that works out though. It's like just because he's that fast doesn't mean he's going to pan out.
When he
real well.
said it, he was like, I don't have a boat. That's literally what he said. When they're like, if you just put the shoes on, he's like, I don't have a boat.
That's a great response, actually.
Well, now he can buy one now.
Yeah. And probably the pick that's closest to our hearts is the Kansas City Chiefs made a huge jump up from 27 to 10, and in doing so gave up their
Third and fourth round.
third rounder. No, it was just the third rounder this year and the first rounder next year. They traded their fourth one later for a different pick.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
But yeah, it was a third round pick this year and their number 1 pick next year. And
For somebody who could potentially be a franchise quarterback, he's got all the weapons and all the
Yeah,
talent to do
Somebody
it.
that the Bears could have picked up, but no.
yeah, but
They picked up a guy
I
who's
honestly
played 13 goddamn games.
I think Pat Mahomes is a very talented guy, and the more I look into him and the more I watch stuff on him, I'm very excited about the potential. But he better be a franchise quarterback for what they gave up, because that can cripple them in the long run if he doesn't pan out. And you guys should go check out our videos that we have saved on Facebook, because we had a little live stream once they traded up.
You could see our
And,
initial reactions were not so positive.
I was 100% certain they traded up to get Reuben Foster, who I think is like the closest thing to a sure thing at linebacker in this year's draft.
which
And,
is something we heavily needed.
yeah.
The biggest thing here that I see from the outside looking in is he does not have a franchise quarterback name. He doesn't have a Rivers. He doesn't have.
It's got Mahomes.
He doesn't have.
Pat Mahomes, baby.
No, he's. Hey, look at Pat Mahomes over there. Mahomesless.
Only if he sucks.
I think it's cool, man. And it's the second. He's the second. His dad
I
also.
dad was a
fucking hate that
MLB
he's the
player.
second. I fucking hate that he's the second, because I think it's dumb when people put the second after a name. It's not the second. It's junior. You get to a third generation, then you get to put the third. That makes sense. But anyway, besides that, I actually do like his talent, and I think he could be. I think it's a perfect situation for that quarterback. I just wish we would have got him at 27 instead of have to move up to 10. But it sounded like New Orleans really liked him to learn under Drew Brees,
and so did Houston.
Houston and Arizona also liked him and New Orleans is picking 11, Arizona's picking 13, so the Chiefs had to make a move if they wanted to get him. So I like that they did something for once, like to actually go get the talent. I do hate that Reuben Foster dropped to like number 30, so the Chiefs could have picked him at 27 and gotten this super badass linebacker, but
But
whatever.
we'll see. We have a franchise quarterback, and we're going to be awesome for years.
Other notable picks.
Allegedly.
I mean, Marshawn Lattimore, cornerback to New Orleans. It's a good pick. Texans traded up to get Deshaun Watson. Probably the closest thing to a sure thing at starter for day one out of rookie quarterbacks. I think he can be a plug and play type of guy, and I really like his talent too. But that's not what the Chiefs were looking for. They were looking for someone super talented that they can train, because all of his shortcomings are
Fixable.
All of his shortcomings are things you can train, and his talent is out of this world.
Well, they've shown too, like what Reed has done when he has quarterbacks like that. I mean, he was at Green Bay when Favre was there. You saw what he did with McNabb. You saw what he did with Vic. All players that have really similar skill sets to what Mahomes has, and he's been there to help mold them. So
Yeah,
I
and
mean, the guy can
the
throw
only time
65 yards on his knees.
Only time Nick Foles, the only time Nick Foles was good was when Andy Reid was his coach, and yeah,
Hold your tongue, son. He was great in college. Great.
I'm talking NFL, obviously. Are we talking about college?
Well, you said
Practice?
You
We
said
talking
the
about
only time he
practice?
was ever good.
Practice, man. Who we got next on the board?
Hanson. Hassan, yeah, you're right.
Hassan Reddick or Reddick, depending on how you read it.
Hassan Reddick.
Yeah, that wasn't a bad pick. They needed a little bit of help. in the
Cardinals
middle.
wanted a quarterback, and then the three quarterbacks that they wanted were just gone by the time they get to him. So they actually got probably one of the best talents there because there was so much quarterback reaching going on. Yeah,
Philly took who they
Derek
got?
Barnett, D-end from Tennessee, solid pick. Malik Hooker, safety for Indianapolis, was also a solid pick. That Ohio State had 3 guys in their secondary go in the first round, which was pretty crazy.
That's a good pick for Indianapolis too, because a lot of times where they got tore up last year in the secondary was in the middle of the field.
Yeah, and I think it's a good pick, but I also think they need a line to keep Andrew Luck alive, so that kind of sucks that they didn't. But they would have been a reach to take a lineman at 15. I mean, only like a 5-pick reach, but still a reach. Marlon Humphrey, cornerback, Alabama.
And then here comes number 17. I think this was probably one of the best picks of the
Value
draft.
pick right here. Yeah, number 17, Washington takes Jonathan Allen, DN from Alabama, and honestly, he should have been gone by probably 6, maybe.
Yeah, here's another one of those like top 5.
That's another one that we talked about last week, and we didn't get very deep. So
No,
Yeah,
but that's
yeah,
another
we
one
talked
that
about
should have been taken number 5, like top 5, top 10 at the latest, and dropping to 17. I mean, Washington. I mean, they knew right away like we're taking this guy.
They needed a lineman, and he's probably number 3 talent wise in this draft, or probably number 2 talent wise when it comes to pass rushing. Number 3 overall, which is why, or behind Solomon Thomas, and to get him at 17 is fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was at this point I was like, this is the steal of the draft so far. I can't believe we dropped that far.
Yeah, and that's
OJ Howard, huge win for Tampa Bay.
yeah,
at
second
19.
biggest steal behind Jonathan Allen. OJ Howard, Garrett Bowles for the Denver Broncos.
Stupid pick.
No, I think it's smart. They need he's the best lineman in the draft. They need a lineman.
Yeah, but like if you actually read
Their
a lot,
line's so fucking terrible.
if you
in
read a
Denver.
lot of their stuff though, like he has like shorter arms, he's not that strong, and he's also old. He's 25.
Yeah, but he'll be a plug and play left tackle from day one. So I
Yeah.
mean, he'll.
Who's
You
going into the
can't
NFL
fault
at
him for
25?
taking.
That's crazy.
I think he had a kid and like it delayed his time when he was in college.
He
But
also was
Oh
like
no, he's Utah. He's a Mormon guy.
maybe
that guy's window in the NFL is small.
We got Miami taking Charles Harris, D end outside linebacker from Missouri. That
This
was
is a really deep defensive line.
Yeah. Charles
draft.
Harris is actually one of the better pass rushers in coming out of the combine. He's very talented. It was really, really cool to see them get him. New York Giants get Evan Ingram. Honestly, he'll be like a plug and play dude for them. They need a tight end so bad for Eli Manning, and I think they got their guy.
Well, they had one. Didn't that O'Donnell kid do pretty well last year?
He did all right, but Evan Ingram's way more talented,
Yeah.
and so I think that's becoming more and more of a commodity in the NFL these days. Just having a super talented tight end.
This is where I could not believe that the Raiders did not take.
I thought the Raiders were taking Reuben Foster.
Yeah, I thought they were
for
gonna take
sure,
him. If
and
they
I was
would've
going to
taken
be
him, I would've
so
so
mad.
Because
to see
Chiefs
that-
wouldn't be able to run anymore.
To see the guy I wanted so bad to be taken by the team I hate so much, that would have been the worst. Have to see him twice a year. He's just gonna shut down everyone. Jabril Peppers.
This is really another really good pick by the Browns. This is probably the best draft the Browns have had in a long
Yeah.
time.
Jabril Peppers for the Browns. He was their
So
second
are
first
we
round.
saying that the Browns pick number 2 next year?
No,
Maybe.
they'd be a lot more competitive because their defense wasn't awful last year, but
Yeah.
they've addressed the problems with the picks so far.
Oh, my favorite name of the draft, Taco Carlton, goes to the Dallas Cowboys. That reminded me of the Key and Peele skit. As soon as I saw his name, it's like Taco Carlton, Michigan.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that's a great name.
This is another good pick by
David
the Browns.
Njoku, the number 3 tight end to go in the first round, and goes to the Browns. Yeah, they needed it. And T.J. Watt, linebacker to the Steelers.
Got a good name.
Yeah. And San Francisco 49ers get Reuben Foster. This is why I fucking love them. They got 2 top 5 talents in 31 picks, and that is just that those are 2 day one starters on your defense, and and at least 1 all-star in my opinion.
Well, and that pick by the
Pro Bowler.
49ers and these picks by the Browns up to this point, and then even going through the rest of the draft, we're obviously not going to go through the rest of it, but I'd say the Browns probably had the best draft as far as just picking like the players they really needed and players that have the talent. But the Niners, I think, got by far the best value out of their picks.
Yeah, and then that's they definitely did. I agree with you.
And they got extra
they
picks
accumulated
next year.
more
Yeah.
picks.
They're setting themselves up to finally kind of
John
be
Lynch
relevant
is
again.
just being awesome in his first year. Let's see, New Orleans Saints take a tackle with Ryan Ramczyk, solid pick.
Are we going beyond round 1? Are we going beyond round 1?
No.
Okay.
I mean, you can even cut it on it. But yeah, right. That was the pick that they traded away. What's his face, Brandon Cooks for to the Patriots, and Patriots basically drafted Brandon Cooks 3 years later with that pick. So that was a pretty solid draft pick, Patriots.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think my favorite team, we've already discussed it, San Francisco for sure. Least favorite move of the draft was moving up 1 spot to get and giving up 3 picks to do it. And
whoever made the decision for the Bears is going to look like a genius if he works out.
yeah,
Don't
if
think he's
Mitch
going to.
Trubisky does, like I really don't think he will, but
Don't think he will either.
He's going to be football Jesus, I tell you.
no, that's Pat Mahomes. Sorry.
It's not Pat Mahomes. Mahomes is not a.
Have you seen that horse mane of hair he has?
It's not a football name.
Sounding like Texas Kermit the Frog up there.
He does.
Yeah, you see his interviews. He's got like that southern accent. He's kind of talks like this.
Yeah. Does sound like him with the front.
But he is actually a smart guy. I think though, I don't know. I have hope. I'm not going to say I think he'll be the best quarterback of all time, but
I will. I'll say
he'll
it
definitely be the
straight-faced.
best quarterback of all time.
Yep, straight faced. We're winning a Super Bowl with him.
All right.
I'll take that long bet. I will take that long
Moving
bet.
on.
That's our thought on the draft, and we probably won't be talking about NFL football for at least like 4 months now. But yeah.